Junior Board of Directors is proud to support Faribault Community Television.
Hey, this is Jake Buddy at Faribault Rental. Happy to support the April edition of the FCTV News. We'll be back in a minute with some more about Faribault Rental.
Hello, I'm Paul Panoski. I'm the Parks and Recreation Director for the City of Faribault here, and just want to talk a little bit about some of the upcoming activities we've got going on here at through the Park and Recreation Department. First of all, the most recent Buckham Bulletin that came out has a list of almost all of our summer programs in it. So please go through that and take a look for different types of activities, from our fun centers to our ball programs. Coming up in the next bulletin, you'll see our concerts in the park and more of our swimming lessons. We'll get all of those listed. Also, currently we are running a 10% discount for anybody that would like to purchase their pool passes for the aquatic center, both season passes and the discount passes, and that'll run through approximately May 1st. So we encourage you to come in, purchase those passes now, and save yourself 10% on those. Reminder that all picnic shelters are currently available also, that you can rent picnic shelters. We rent them May 1st through September 30th. So we're looking to get people signed up as quick as we can, because some of the more popular times do fill up pretty fast on the shelters. If you've driven by the community center recently, you notice that we have a number of construction projects going. We're actually replacing the roof on the community center, and then when they get done here, they'll be moving over and doing the Buckham Memorial Library. So this project is going to take us 6 to 8 weeks to get through, so it's going to be kind of a long process. But along with that, we have other construction projects going on. We're replacing the basketball hoops in the gym. We'll be redoing the floor in the gym. We're redoing the floors in the locker room. So we just encourage people, if you have any questions, just please give us a call. We'll certainly answer your questions, and also make sure that we are sending out lots of emails so that people know where we're at in the construction process and all these different projects. So again, if you are interested in anything, we're looking for volunteer groups right now that might be able to come out and help with some of our spring cleanup. With some of the winds we've had, we've got a lot of trash along our trail systems and our parks. Any type of assistance we can get, we are looking for volunteer groups. And lastly, if you are a member of a group and you're looking at having a walk or a run or anything where you're going to use city property or cross a city street, you will need to get a permit through the city, and we will help you through that process. So just give us a call here at the community center, and we'll be happy to work with you on that as well.
Hi, I'm Dr. Corey Miller, eye physician and surgeon with Richie Eye Clinic and Lasik Center. Today I want to talk to you about Lasik and go over kind of who's a candidate, what the benefits are, and what we can provide for you here at Richie Eye Clinic. So when it comes to Lasik, the benefit is we have our own Lasik Center right here in Faribault. We have the kind of most advanced technology that you can get for LASIK, and we do it right here in Faribault. So we take people who are wanting to get out of their glasses or contacts, and we can achieve that for them and get them great results and great vision. So what LASIK does is it reshapes your cornea. So essentially putting your glasses or your contacts prescription into that cornea so that you can see better and go on without needing those glasses or contacts. So it is really a great procedure and can benefit people tremendously in some cases. So what we look for when people are considering LASIK is to find out if they are a candidate. You may have heard that term before, but basically what we're trying to find is that your eye is healthy enough for us to do this procedure and that you're going to get that great result that we're looking for. So who's a candidate? A lot of things go into being a candidate for LASIK. But there are a few important things that I'll touch on. One is that your prescription isn't changing because it's very hard to hit a moving target. The other thing is that your prescription is something that the laser is able to do, and it's not too large of a prescription. Nowadays with the lasers that we have, there's not a lot of prescriptions that don't fall into that category, but there's still some, so some people are not good candidates because of that. The other is that you do have to be a certain age, so it's for people over 18, but we do it all the way up to 50 or even higher ages too, just depending on the circumstances. So a lot of people can benefit from having LASIK done. The other thing we look at is we take a lot of measurements of the eyes, because we want to make sure that eye is nice and healthy, and so that your outcome is as good as possibly can be. So when we look at the cornea, we look to make sure that it's thick enough, that it's regular appearing, that it looks healthy and there's no issues with it, so that you're going to have a great outcome after your surgery. So what does a LASIK consult look like when you come to Richie Eye Clinic? So first of all, if you're already a patient here, we'll look at your last few exams, make sure that your eye prescription hasn't been changing. When we get you in for the actual consult, we'll take a lot of measurements of your eyes, a bunch of pictures, just mapping that front surface of your cornea and getting different ways to look at it to make sure that it's healthy. I'll sit down with you, we'll talk over everything, we'll look at your pictures, and we'll come up with a plan that best fits your eye. Each person is unique, each eye is unique, so we're trying to do what is best for each patient. And so for some people it's a little different, but our goal is to get you the best vision you possibly can without those glasses and contacts. After you've had a LASIK consult with us, then comes time for surgery. The day of surgery, things go very smoothly. We get you in to one of our pre-op areas. We give you some medicine that helps you relax. And then the procedure itself, it only takes about 15 minutes. Some people worry about kind of having pain or get pretty nervous with it. But for the most part, people do extremely well. We help them through it. We talk them through every step of the way. And you don't feel any pain with the procedure. It feels a little bit odd, but you don't have any pain. And by the next day when you have LASIK, the eyes are feeling great, and typically the vision is wonderful as well. So we have a lot of happy people that first day afterwards. So if you have any questions about whether you're a candidate for LASIK or know somebody who is interested in LASIK, we'd be more than happy to have you come on down to Richie Eye Clinic and LASIK Center, and we'll take a look to see if you're a candidate. Thank you.
Hi, Kevin from Riverbend Nature Center here to tell you all about our upcoming programs in April. On Saturday, April 2nd, we have 2 Peregrine Falcon programs. One is from 11 to noon, and the next is 12:30 to 1:30. You can see these awesome raptors up close in the Interpretive Center, get to learn all about them and learn about their history here in Minnesota. On Tuesday, April 12th, from 9:30 to 11 a.m., we have a Little Sprouts program on shapes in nature. It's designed for kids 5 and under. On Wednesday, April 20th, we have a lecture series on bluebird conservation. That's going to be from 6 to 8 p.m. On Tuesday, April 26th, we have another Little Sprouts program, perfect for kids 5 and under. It's on birds and nests, and that's going to be from 9:30 to 11. Lastly, we have a spring ephemeral program for adults only from 6 to 7 p.m. Friday, April 29th. If you're interested in coming out and going on a guided walk with a naturalist, come on out on April 29th for our spring ephemeral program. If none of those programs are exactly what you're looking for, feel free to come join us out at Riverbend any Friday from 10 to 4. Our building is open. And the first and third Saturday of the month from 10 to 2. Lastly, our trails are open every day from sun up to sundown. Feel free to come out. There's lots of bird activity. Plants are starting to come back up. It's a great time to be here at Riverbend. Hope to see you in the park.
Hi, I'm Scott. I'm a pharmacist here at Hy-Vee in Faribault. Just going to give you a couple of updates on the current COVID booster vaccinations and COVID vaccinations in general. We are doing the vaccinations on site at Hy-Vee here. A couple of ways you can register for those. It's easiest if you do it online at hyvee.com/COVID. You can fill out the consent form there. Otherwise, we do accept walk-ins currently. So if you need to get your first dose, your second dose, your booster, or now your second booster, you can come into the pharmacy and get that all filled out. So as of today, March 29th, the FDA has approved a second booster for those who are 50 and above for both the Pfizer and Moderna. There's a couple of other agencies this still has to go through, so something called the ACIP as well as the CDC before we can start doing those at the pharmacy here. But in the meantime, I thought I'd go over just a few basics of the schedules for the vaccines, as there tends to be some questions on that. So currently there are still the three manufacturers for the COVID vaccine. There's the Pfizer, Moderna, and the J&J or Johnson or Janssen booster. Right now, the recommendations really favor the Moderna and the Pfizer, the two what they call mRNA vaccinations. So you get your first shot of the Pfizer. 21 days after that, you get your second. If you're not immunocompromised, it's 5 months to your booster, your first booster. And now with the current recommendations from the FDA that were approved again today on the 29th, it would be 4 months after your last booster that you would get that. It's very similar for the Moderna. Again, it's the Moderna, your first shot, then you have 4 weeks or 28 days for your second. Again, if you're not immunocompromised, it's going to be another 5 months for your first booster, followed by second booster 4 months after your previous booster. For Pfizer, if you've gotten your Pfizer, you know, it's a little bit different. Your booster should come 2 months after your initial dose of the Johnson & Johnson, just because that is the one dose. It is recommended that you get one of the mRNA for your booster shots if you did get the Johnson & Johnson. We only currently have the Moderna and Pfizer at the pharmacy here. It's still available other places to get the Johnson & Johnson, but again, it is recommended that you get the mRNA, the Moderna or the Pfizer, just because it is shown to be more effective that way. So there's a lot of news articles that are out there right now throwing around terms, and everything can get a little bit confusing. So I thought I'd maybe go over a few of the basics and some statistics for you, at least for the state of Minnesota. So you're considered fully vaccinated if you've gotten your primary series of vaccinations. So for the Pfizer and Moderna, that's going to be 2 weeks after your second shot of either of those. For the J&J or the Johnson, it is just a one-time dose. So you are considered fully vaccinated after those, 2 weeks after those shots. To be considered up to date, you know, you're up to date with the current recommendations. That's changing a little bit more frequently. So to be up to date currently right now, it would be that you received your booster after 5 months of the Moderna or the Pfizer, or 2 months you've gotten your booster after the J&J shot. Now this is going to be changing as of today with the FDA, but once it gets approved by the other agencies to be up to date, it's going to be you've gotten both your booster shots of whatever shot you got. So in the state of Minnesota, as of today, March 29th, 66.2% of the population were considered fully vaccinated. Up to date, that goes down a little bit more. So it's only 45.8% of the population of Minnesota is up to date. And it is, you know, important that if you can, if you don't have any other reasons not to get the shot, that you do try to remain up to date with the current recommendations. If you have any questions, you can always contact us here at the pharmacy. We have information online at, again, hyvee.com/COVID, and you can register for the shot right there. And it is changing very frequently. So just today, as of the recording of this, there's a lot of changes that are coming out there. So there's a lot on the news that you have to keep up on. And the news stories don't always tell you the full story too. Like today, you know, it's been approved by the FDA, but it hasn't been fully approved by the ACIP and other organizations that need to approve it before we can give you the shot here. But if you do have any questions, give us a call. You can contact Rice County Health or go online to their website. They're very helpful and can do the shots there as well. But if you do have any questions, stop on in or give us a call, and hopefully we can keep you all up to date with any of the new regulations. Thank you.
This is a busy time of year around here with graduation season coming up and everybody doing their spring cleanup in their yard and construction getting underway. We have a lot to offer the community, just more of the same, and we hope to have a good 2021 here at Faribault Rental.
The Faribault Area Chamber of Commerce is made up of over 400 businesses representing nearly 12,000 employees. During the month of May, we'll celebrate small business and large business by honoring businesses in our community. Join us as we celebrate business in Faribault on Thursday, May 12th at 12 p.m. at the Faribault Golf and Country Club. Nominations are now open for the businesses in the following categories: Business of the Year, Excellence in Education, Legacy Award, and Customer Service. Nominate a business by the end of April by visiting our website at www.faribaultmn.org.
Hi, the Faribault community has a lot of great events throughout the entire year, and we've got a few we want to share with you today. Coming up on May 5th is Ladies' Night in downtown Faribault. Join us as we sip, shop, and stroll and support local businesses on the evening of May 5th. It's going to be a great evening. It's a Thursday night, so call your friends, call your sisters, and join us downtown. Also, we're excited to kick off the car cruise season on May 20th with a show in historic downtown Faribault. Shine 'em up and show 'em off. As always, they'll take place the third Friday of every month from 6 to 9 p.m. So the dates for the summer are May 20th, June 17th, July 15th. August 12th, we've got a bonus show for the Blue Collar Festival. August 19th, our regularly scheduled program, and September 16th at Faribault Harley-Davidson. Find more information on those events, plus farmers markets, the Paradise Center for the Arts performance shows, Heritage Days, and much more on our community calendar at visitfaribault.com. That's visitfaribault.com to find out what's coming up and going on in the area.
Welcome to the Rice County Historical Society. My name is Sue Garwood and I'm the Executive Director. And today we're going to talk about a couple of our new exhibits that we've just completed. The first one, as you remember, we started or featured the exhibit behind me or over my shoulder last year. And this exhibit is featuring some of the tools that were used in early farming. Really the earliest 1850 to 1860 subsistence farming time period. And these are the tools that are outside or used in the outside portion of the farm. And very recently, we have finished an exhibit on some of the tools and equipment that were used inside a farm home. And with us today are two of the volunteers, the lead two volunteers who helped put this exhibit together. Charlotte Johnson and Pat Shippey, both of whom are both on our board of directors as well as volunteers. Thank you both for joining us today and being willing to talk about your exhibit.
Thank you.
So, share with us a little bit about this exhibit and everything that people might be interested in knowing about.
Well, first of all, as Sue mentioned, we've gotten our inspiration for this from our previous exhibit. And someone asked me, well, where did you get all that stuff? These are items that we have had in our collections and have very often wished we were able to put them on display. So this was a wonderful opportunity to do just that. And hopefully it'll give people a better understanding of the type of life our 1850s, 1860s pioneer families did.
Just to add a little bit to what's already been said, we have these things are in our outbuildings, which we always hope you come and visit, but and besides just talking about the objects, the written material around the edge of it, the purpose of that is to really explain about the life that the people had, more about how they lived and the experiences they had. So
these are the basic things that the settlers brought with them. And the settlement, Rice County was open for settlement in 1853 after the Treaty of Mendota with Dakota. People came here from, a lot of them came from the East Coast, but as well as from other countries, Czechoslovakia, Scandinavia, Germany, France. Many settlers came from Canada. So, but these are the types of things that they actually brought with them.
okay, we start out with what the people had to eat, because actually food is a basic necessity. And the gardens were an important part of their food supply, and you see here featured some of the gardens. They, of course, also had animals, and we have the eggs here to illustrate the chickens that they raised. They would have had a cow or two, which would have provided milk for the family, as well as butter for their use and so on. Then we go on to just some of the simple frying pans, and again we have the tin frying pan as well as the cast iron, because both were important types of material that were used. Next to that we have a little miniature stove that is a model of a wood cook stove, and we have a large one of that out in the cabin, so you can see the real one out there if you stop and visit us.
Also, we have, you can tell by the fork that it's a very old, undoubtedly a hand-forged meat fork, a knife, and notice the rolling pin doesn't have any handles, and look how heavy it is. And of course, then we have the wooden spoon, the butter paddle, a ladle. They are also all hand-carved, all the very necessary things that you would need around your kitchen. Moving forward, we see the Crocs. And I know everybody talks about the Croc, like a Red Wing Croc and so forth. Well, these were very much necessities of life. If you see our big kraut stomper and the Croc, that's what they used to beat down their cabbage to turn it into sauerkraut. And if you notice the food chopper, actually, food choppers are available yet today. This one was another example of a hand-forged food chopper.
These are just examples of ways that food was preserved, because of course since there was no refrigeration, food preservation was really important. And we mentioned some of the methods that were used, such as drying and smoking, and this of course is turning it into kraut, which is another common way of preserving food. So I had written the scripts and got to this one and it was blank. I thought, oh no, what am I going to do? So I went and got Charlotte and said, Charlotte, we've got a blank space. And she said, well, we need to put down waste not or want not, because of course that was an important part of the pioneer experience, and hopefully it is still important today with our recycling. But it's the idea of the fact, the idea of, since they had so little, they did not waste anything. And we mentioned several different ways that they kept from wasting things.
Notice the candle lying here. That's made out of tallow. It's one of the items that was not wasted. They used the lard, they used the tallow, the food scraps were fed to either their pets or their livestock. So that's their lighting. So everything was of great importance. And as you notice, our elegant dinnerware here, number one, it was served the reason for it. And number two, the tin was very lightweight, easy to transport. And when you're a pioneer coming by cart or wagon train or stagecoach, you needed lightweight items.
This is our part of the sewing part of the exhibit, and just to mention, most of these things were part of the collection, but we did have a few items that were loaned to us for this exhibit, and Marie Tuma donated some of this. Again, the idea of not wasting anything, instead of throwing away what was left over when you made clothing, you kept the scraps and used those little pieces to sew together to make a pretty quilt. There's a darning egg here, and this is where I goofed. I was supposed to darn a sock, but I didn't get that done, sorry. The darning egg would be used to darn socks. You didn't throw away a pair of socks when they got holes in them. Beyond that, you have a roll of rags, strips. And again, the rags could be woven into rag rugs. However, most people didn't have a loom at home, so they could crochet them or hook them into a rug. Again, they weren't wasted.
The wool was a very intricate part of our pioneer family's life. Most families tried to have sheep because not only did they provide the wool, which was carded and spun and made into clothing and every other item. We have a little note here explaining how it was washed and cleaned and so forth. And there's a little miniature spinning wheel up there. And that actually is very accurate as far as the depiction of a typical type spinning wheel. And in the past, during our fair days, we have had a spinner and a carder down here demonstrating. So it's very time-consuming and very hard work. And the end result, however, look at the wonderful knitting and the size of those knitting needles. Again, all handmade. And one of our lovely volunteers, Pauline, did some little knitting for us to give us a more accurate description of what we have here.
Okay, with the clothes washing, again, we need to emphasize they didn't wash clothes that often because of the difficulty in washing. Unfortunately, there wasn't room in here for a big copper boiler. We explain on these little cards a little bit more about the whole process of washing. But the water had to be carried in, and it had to be heated on the stove, and then used a scrub board to wash it in order to clean it, and then you had to hang it out on the lines to dry it, or in the wintertime, hang it on clothes racks inside the house. Next to that, we have the flat iron, because since there was no permapress, clothes had to be ironed, and that iron was heated by setting it on the wood stove, and when it got hot enough, then you ironed with it. And of course, since there was no temperature control on it, that meant if you weren't careful, you scorched your clothing. Little kids usually started with something, maybe even a rag, so that they got the idea of how hot or how long you could hold it on a piece of cloth without burning it.
And after you got through doing your laundry, you didn't throw the water out. There was a possibility that a child or two could still use it to be washed in, a small child. And remember, the soap that they were using was made of lye and other materials, which we explain in our cards here. But it was used for bathing, it was used for laundry, it was used for your hair, it was used for cleaning in general. So another example was if you got to take a bath maybe once a week, okay, who got in first? Mom, Dad, or the kids? Sometimes there was a bit of a wrangling about who would get first dips in the bath, because that was always the cleanest water. But the whole family used the same bath water.
Thank you both so much, not only for the exhibit, but for sharing the exhibit with everyone. I don't know about you, but I continue to learn and find the information that they've written and stories that they tell about this so very fascinating. I think for me, one of the things I hadn't really thought about was the reusing of the bath water, and anyway, all kinds of neat things that you shared. Thank you so much. If you all are interested in coming to take a look at the exhibit, we invite you out. We're here Monday through Friday from 9 to 4. Other times are available by appointment. This exhibit's going to be up for at least a year, if not a little bit longer, so you've got time. We are located on the east end of the Rice County Fairgrounds at 1814 Northwest 2nd Avenue. You can also find out about us online at www.rchistory.org or give us a call at 507-332-2121. Rice County Historical Society, preserving the past for future generations.
Hey everyone, it's me, Miss Denny, your favorite children's librarian. Thanks for joining me. I'm here to tell you about everything happening at your library in April. Happy spring to all of you. And on that note, I want to invite you to stop in the library and check out our seed library. That's right, our seed library officially opened on March 28th, and you can stop in anytime and check out free heirloom non-GMO seeds from our seed library. You'll complete a contract and be part of the Seed Library Exchange Program, and you'll learn how to return seeds back to us at the end of the growing season. So you'll find the seed library right next to the information desk on the adult side. Just look for the sign that says Garden Information Station. You'll find a ton of info, the seeds, and if you have questions, our Master Gardener, Lisa Reaver, has excellent answers for you. So stop in and chat with her anytime or give us a call or an email and we'll make sure she gets your questions. We can't wait to get growing. Our Edible Books Festival took place in March, and the submissions have all been posted now to our Facebook page. So you're going to want to check those out. If you haven't done so already, just look for the Edible Books Festival album right there on our Facebook page, and you'll be able to find all the winners and submissions to this year's excellent contest. And our 5-minute bedtime stories will continue. Those take place on the library's Facebook or YouTube page, Tuesday nights at 7 o'clock. Look for me, Miss Denny, sharing a short bedtime story with you. All the playlists can be found again right there on Facebook or YouTube. Just look for the ones titled 5-minute bedtime stories. And then we're going to keep going on Zoom for a little bit longer. Join us for Storytime Share and Tell on Zoom in April on Wednesdays at 10 a.m. If you'd like to join us, you do need to email me so you can get that link. I want to keep everybody safe online, but we have a lot of fun Wednesdays, 10 a.m. on Zoom. We'd love to have you join us. And then watch and stay tuned. We'll be having some outdoor programs very soon, as soon as the weather will allow us. You know what April is like in Minnesota, but we're going to watch for those warm days, and we're going to have some fun outdoor stories and other events. So stay tuned. And then our Teen Advisory Board will be meeting in April. The April meeting is April 4 at 4:30 p.m. If you are a youth in grades 6 through 12 and you're interested in becoming a member of TAB, our Teen Advisory Board, you need to let me know and I will chat with you about how to apply and become a member. Both of our youth book clubs will take place in April as well. We have Books and Brownies for grades 2 through 5, and we have Pizza and Pages for grades 6 through 12. So the meeting date for Books and Brownies is April 11 at 4:30, and Pizza and Pages is April 25 at 4:30. Both of those are Mondays. And the assignment actually this month is the same for both clubs. April is National Poetry Month, and so your assignment, should you choose to accept it, is to read any poem or poetry book of your choice and come to share about it. If you don't want to read a poem, that's okay. You can read anything else you like and come and talk about that instead. Remember, the whole point of both clubs is to share a love of reading and make new friends with other readers. So I hope you can join us for those. Please contact me because registration is required. First Chapter Fridays is a new program that I started back in February. You can join me Fridays at 4 o'clock on the Facebook or YouTube page of the library. And you'll find me reading the first chapter of a fabulous middle grade novel. So then if you like it, you can come into the library and check it out and keep reading it on your own and finish it for yourself. I've read a lot of great first chapters already. You can find those playlists again on our Facebook or our YouTube page. Look for First Chapter Fridays. Alan, our resident ukularian, she leads a group called FUN, which stands for Faribault Ukulele Network, and they have jam sessions the second and fourth Thursday of the month. You must be 16 years of age or older, have your own ukulele, a tuner, and a music stand, and you should already know how to do quite a bit with your uke, like tune it, hold it, and strum it, and play at least 5 chords. And then if that all applies to you and you're interested, give Alan a call or an email and she'll talk to you about joining fun. Now, if you're more like me and you don't know how to do any of those things, maybe you've never even touched a ukulele in your life, don't worry, we've also got Alan's there for you for that as well. You can contact her about Uke Can Make Music. You can send her an email or you can call her here at the library and set up a one-on-one appointment, and she will help you learn some basic tips on beginning to play the ukulele. And then don't forget, your library is fine free. That's right. As of January 1st, we are no longer charging daily late fines or any late fines of any kind on Faribault library materials that are overdue. So there's more information about that on our website, but we hope that this prompts you to come back to the library. We've missed you, and come out and check some great books and movies and other materials. Lots of amazing things are going to be happening at your library very soon. So stay tuned. Be sure to follow us on our website, our Facebook page, our Instagram. If you have questions, you can give us a call or send us an email, and stop in. We would love to see you. Take good care, friends. Bye-bye.
First United Bank and the Junior Board of Directors is proud to support Faribault Community Television.
That's it for this edition of FCTV News for the April edition. Stop on down to Faribault Rental or any one of our other 3 locations if you need any more information.